It's a bumpy ride for Pacific Northwest National Laboratory researchers. They're collecting smoke samples from directly above wildfires to see how it's affecting the climate.
Over the fires, normally we actually will sit down because as you go right over the top of the fire, there's a lot of heat coming off that, and you get a very big bump. That's where all the science is and all the data is at, and that's where we need to be.
To collect the data from smoke samples, their plane is outfitted with dozens of monitoring devices.
The smoke particles are small enough that they would be seen by these instruments. Radiation sensors that are looking at the visible light that's reflected off of the ground.
It's like a flying laboratory.
Today, a group of 4 researchers will fly out of Pasco and over a fire near the Dalles, Oregon. First, they check the weather patterns, choose a flight plan.
We'll probably be operating from the fire over towards Mount Hood, mostly in this area.
And make sure all the equipment is working properly. Then they load up and head toward the smoke. Earlier studies could only collect smoke on the ground.
So you kind of got to wait for the smoke to come to you. The beautiful thing about having an aircraft is that you can actually go to the smoke. And we're actually able to get right over top of the fires. And that's really important. We need the initial conditions of the smoke.
The smoke can change depending on where the fire is. Fires that burn a lot of timber emit different smoke particles than fires that burn a lot of grassland. Smoke can also change color depending on how hot the fire is. A scorching fire has soot-colored smoke.
Almost what you see out of like a bus or a semi taking off at a stoplight. And as you can imagine, black is hot, just like wearing a black shirt on a hot day. That absorbs heat from the sun and then radiates that heat back off at night.
That could make temperatures warmer. White-colored smoke can have the opposite effect. Researchers don't know what that means for climate change. That's why they want to analyze the data from all the different types of smoke.
We'll take this information. People who work on the climate models will use that information to improve the representation of fire, forest fires, and agriculture burns.
Researchers say that could make models that predict the effects of climate change more accurate.
As the earth is changing and the environment is changing, will we have more forest fires? And if we do have more forest fires, what will that impact be?
It'll be years before they can figure that out, but researchers hope the data they're collecting could someday provide answers. I'm Courtney Flatt in Pasco, Washington.